Let's see the recent maritime accidents. Spanish Navy Santa Maria is damaged in a fire while anchored in Rota, Spain. At Rota Naval Base in Spain, a fire broke out in the hangar of the Spanish Navy frigate Santa Maria, F-81. There were no injuries recorded, although a number of non-essential crew members abandoned the ship. The frigate was scheduled to leave Rota on October 9 to participate in UNIFOR and Atalanta operations. In Lake Michigan, Salina, a Polish bulk carrier, is disabled and in tow. While en route from Milwaukee to Thunder Bay, Lake Superior, Salina suffered a mechanical problem in Lake Michigan, Great Lakes. She stayed at anchor until the evening of October 7, when she was pulled back to Milwaukee by tug Meredith Ashton. FPSO and offshore support ship Norgoliath sustained damages. The Norwegian support vessel Norgoliath made contact with the brand new FPSO Ruby in the Kakinada anchorage in India's Bay of Bengal. Rough weather and heavy seas caused the collision. No one was wounded. According to reports, the accident will cause a 2-week delay in the project's scheduled work. In Bangkok, Smooth C-18 stopped meters from a riverside restaurant. The tanker Smooth C-18 capsized in the Chao Phraya River in Samut Prakan, Bangkok. After passing clear of the tug-pulling barges downstream, the tanker veered off course. Tanker had to drop anchor and reverse engine to full astern to avoid grounding. Collision between Tradewind Passion and floating bridge. On October 8, the tanker Tradewind Passion crashed with a floating bridge on the Demerara River in Georgetown, Guyana. The bridge was severely damaged and rendered useless. MSC Molina container ship disabled in Dardanelles. While navigating the Dardanelles Strait, the MSC Molina's engine failed in front of Çanakkale, Dardanelles. The ship, which was then way from Tekirdağ to Italy, will be pulled to Erinköy anchorage in the southern Dardanelles. Tanker Sea Lion 1 crew of 5 poisoned, hospitalized in Istanbul. In the evening of October 9, tanker Sea Lion 1 requested medical aid for 5 poisoned crew members. While cleaning a tank or tanks, the crew was poisoned by vapors from empty cargo tanks. The captain was apparently poisoned as well, most likely during a tank check. The SAR boat removed all 5 crew members and transported them to the hospital. Feeder grounding, Baltic Sea, Expresco Divari. The Expresco Divari ran aground in the Baltic Sea south of Åland on October 10 while en route from Gdynia, Poland, to Rauma, Finland. The ship managed to refloat on its own and began its cruise. Mauritania's fisheries research ship Alawam sinks. The fisheries research ship Alawam went down at Nouadhibou Harbor, Mauritania, on October 9 or earlier. The ship was purchased from Japan in 1997 primarily for fishery research purposes. She had been in a layup for approximately a year before sinking, awaiting repairs. In Bangkok, a cargo barge was struck by a container ship Bassey Star, resulting in the barge sinking. At the Bangkok approach channel, the container ship Bassey Star collided with a towed barge carrying coiled steel sheets. The tug Women 18 was towing 4 barges, one of which was struck by a cargo ship and sank. There were no fatalities or injuries reported. Lit Enterprise container ship on fire in Surabaya. A fire apparently broke out in the engine room of the container ship Lit Enterprise at Tanjung Perak port in Surabaya, Indonesia. The fire extended to the superstructure and appears to be a large one, with fire engines and tugs fighting it from both the berth and the seaside. Anita disabled exiting Bosphorus, traffic suspended for 4 hours. Bulk carrier Anita's engine failed at the northern Bosphorus Strait, causing traffic to be suspended. Anita was ballasting from Tuzla, Turkey, to Kavkaz, Russia, through the Kerch Strait. Tugs from the Traffic Control Center hauled the crippled vessel back to the strait from Buyukdere Anchorage. Off Tripoli, the Roro cargo ship Medbridge ran aground. Medbridge, a Roro cargo ship carrying vehicles and passengers, came aground on the rocks of Ramkeen Island, Palm Islands, 3.5 nautical miles off Tripoli, Lebanon. The 47 persons on board were evacuated, and she is scheduled to be refloated during the day on October 14. TSS Pearl sank, causing drifting containers. On October 13, the container ship TSS Pearl was reported to have sunk in the Red Sea after a significant fire. Many floating containers have been reported to be drifting in the vicinity. All 25 crew members abandoned ship and were rescued by a passing tanker. The ship's final AIS transmission occurred about 2000 UTC on October 5, and the ship was already adrift. Disabled MSC 3000 TEU container ship MSC Atlantic in the Atlantic. MSC Atlantic departed San Pedro, Ivory Coast, on October 9, intended for Las Palmas, but was disabled and began to drift on October 13 or possibly earlier. The cause of the problem is unknown, as is the ship's position and condition. The crew's tail is also unknown, and the desertion is not yet confirmed. Container ship MSC Lorena, 5,000 TEU, is disabled off Spain and under tow. MSC Lorena, nuked since October 13 west of La Coruña, Spain, in the Atlantic, and way from Felixstowe, UK, to Çanakkale, Turkey, ETA. So far, the character of the trouble is unknown. Spanish SAR tugs have been on the scene since October 14, following a 27 nanometer inshore drift. Ferrol, Spain, October 15. Christina B collided with Amos Wisdom by at the anchorage of Istanbul. Amos Wisdom by collided with the anchored bulk carrier Christina B at Ahir KP anchorage in Istanbul's Marmara Sea immediately after she hauled anchor and began sailing. Both ships were damaged, including breaches in the superstructure region, Christina B, and STB hull dents in the forepart. One crew member perished when the Korean tanker Kelsey II capsized in the Taiwan Strait. The tanker Kelsey II sank early on October 15, 25 nautical miles south of Wookie Island in Kinmen County, Taiwan. One of the 20 crew members died, but the other 19 were rescued and survived. The tanker is claimed to be loaded with a cargo of 7,500 tons of oil and chemicals. At Ahir KP anchorage in Istanbul, the cargo ship Lady Nurgul and the bulk carrier New Horizon collided. At Ahir KP anchorage in Istanbul's Marmara Sea, the bulk carrier New Horizon collided with the general cargo ship Lady Nurgul. Both ships incurred undetermined amounts of damage and stayed anchored. The New Horizon was leaving Anchorage, destined for the Black Sea, assumed to be Ukraine, to carry grain. Ukrainian bulk freighter Thoe capsized while approached Italian port. The bulk carrier Thoe ran aground as it approached Punta Pena harbor in Vasto, Italia, in the Adriatic Sea. Refloated and berthed many hours later with the assistance of port tugs. There is no information about damages or grounding. 4 crew members, including the CO, of the bulk carrier Vimk Sunrise fell overboard, 3 were rescued, injured, and 1 was lost. The bulk carrier Vimk Sunrise attempted to anchor 7 nautical miles west of Mailao Port on Taiwan's western coast. The ship is en route from Singapore to Xiamen, China, and the reason for the decision to anchor is unknown. Typhoon Nisat is moving SW towards southern Hainan, but poses little concern here. Indonesian salvage efforts caused the passenger cargo ship Subuk New Sandra 46 to sink. On Sept 27, the cargo ship Subuk New Sandra 46 ran aground off the shore of South Bengkulu Regency, South Sumatra's southwest coast. Everyone on board was saved. After sealing the underwater hull breach, Indonesian salvagers attempted to salvage the ship, but she developed list and sank shortly afterwards. Satya Kanchana 3, a passenger Ro-Ro ship, capsized and sank in Indonesia. In Kumai Port, southern Kalimantan, Indonesia, the passenger Ro-Ro ship Satya Kanchana 3 lost stability, developed list, and capsized. Before vehicle unloading began, 289 passengers exited the ship. Tugs attempted to keep the ferry upright by drawing tow lines, but this just made matters worse. After colliding with a Danish cargo ship, the fishing vessel Mika sank in Italy. On October 19, the cargo ship Mika collided with a local fishing vessel off the coast of Italy. Mika rescued 5 fishermen on board and resumed sailing. The LT was still berthed in Ravenna, where it was already carrying goods. In Celtic Sea, container ship CT Rotterdam is crippled and being towed. On October 19, while en route from Dublin to Rotterdam, the CT Rotterdam experienced engine failure in the Celtic Sea. Tug was tasked with towing the crippled ship to Waterford, Ireland. On October 20, the caravan was entering Waterford Harbour. Cargo ship Troubadour, carrying alcohol and tobacco, ran aground at the Knoxkov approach in Denmark. The ship Troubadour ran aground twice in the Knoxkov port's approach canal. The ship was able to refloat on its own, but it is still aground. It's straight across the fairway, between the buoys, with no tugs in sight. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked this video. If you have any questions or comments, drop it in comments section. Subscribe to MarinAura for more updates.